Hey guys, welcome back to Brick System Brothers. Nathan Masters hosting today for an update to the Cafe Corner project, or as I introduced it, Project CC. I'm going to have a little bit of fun with that because CC might have to stand for Compromise Corner instead of Cafe Corner. There's a few things I will be changing about the model just to help with the expense, but for the most part it is actually going pretty well. Just which pieces I do have on hand and bringing things together to actually get this built probably before the end of the year, so we'll see. Some of the big updates are the 1x2x3 roof slopes in dark red, and these I was lucky to find on Bricks and Pieces, so otherwise kind of pricey on Bricklink. I was holding out hope to just kind of piece this together from different bricks and minifigs hauls or hobby store hauls like that, and just kind of scouring the aisles for this particular piece. So I have stocked up maybe 10 or so over the years with the idea of doing this, but there are 36 needed in the model. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger on all 36 from Bricks and Pieces. That'll give me a couple extra to have on hand for other projects, and I don't remember the exact price on these, but it was somewhere around 20 cents a piece. So not bad at all for a part that's in high demand for other people parting together Cafe Corner. This is one of those high volume pieces. There really isn't a way around the dark blue pillar, so for that one I ended up buying the Bionicle set. I think Bricksar has done the same thing before. Now Bricksar will be offsetting the cost of the rest of the set by selling on Bricklink, and he's gone into detail about that in his video. I do not have a Bricklink store, so I won't be reselling the rest of the pieces, but I still think it's a better way to get the pillars than paying like $7 to $10 a piece for them. Yes, I am spending $60 to $70 on a Bionicle set instead of like 30 bucks on the pillars, so double the cost, but you look at the average price per piece, it's down underneath 10 cents a piece now. So I think it comes down to the way that you put value on Lego. To me, I put value on having more Lego at less cost. Now if that's higher cost at the end of the day overall, that is going to work its way back through, but still just the way I'm putting the value on that. So different people want to do that a different way. That's how I ended up doing it this time. And you actually get 6 blue pillars in that set. I only need 4, so I have 2 more on hand now. Kind of not a rare piece. Well, maybe it is rare. It's in 3 sets or less, it's a rare piece. I think that is a rare piece then. So yeah, blue pillars are here. These white fenders I've had for a while, so just getting this stuff checked off the list and in bags is really the rest of the procedure here. And mostly done with bricks and plates at this point. So just get this unpacked, look through some of the things that I will be adjusting. For 1x4s, the dark blue, I think I'm short 1, so that's not a big deal. The dark blue corner, so this 2x2 corner, I need 4 of these and there's 1 here. So I've looked through the model, and here in this update I'll be looking at my studio build to kind of show where different things are going to be changing. For a piece like this, there's sometimes it's possible to swap out the 1x2 and 1x1, but structurally where this is used, that's not really a possibility. So this dark blue 2x2 corner is kind of on the get list now for getting this thing wrapped up. And then the other thing that a big change is 1x8 light bluish gray. I thought I had more of these, but I only have like 12 in my sorted bins right now. I probably have a few more scattered around, but what I'm going to end up doing for these 1x8s, there's a couple places where they're side by side, and so I can actually use 1x16 bricks, and I have a few of those in here now. And the places that they are not side by side, I'm going to be using 1x4s. So as I go through my parts bins and check these off my list and see how many more I need or how many I'm short, that kind of thing, I'm kind of going side by side with the studio model to see what I can swap in, where things are going to work. So that's working really well in terms of, you know I don't have enough of this brick. I have the right kind of pieces to make the adjustments, but is it going to work structurally? So I can just pop open the studio model and check that right here. So that's kind of what I'm able to do going forward, to see pieces that I don't have, maybe that I don't need, if I can do a little rebuilding. And that's where Compromise Corner comes in, just in terms of visually it's the same set, but piece for piece there are going to be some differences. So, and to me it doesn't matter so much that there are a few 1x8 bricks that are replaced by a 1x16 brick. The only thing I can think of where that would come into play is if I decide to sell this thing, and I highly doubt that's going to happen. So if that comes up, as a seller, I want to be very clear that there are differences in the inventory, and some of those are a little bit visual. I guess that middle row of windows is going to change. Well, let's just look at my digital model. That shows a lot of the stuff that I have been updating, to the point that I'm going to be considering the name Compromise Corner. I haven't I'm not going to christen it officially yet, but it's really down a slippery slope in terms of how much more it's going to take to get there. So yeah, from far away, it's pretty much the same building. And what I was saying, visually, it is still the same building. You get in a little closer, the first thing you'll probably notice is this row of windows. It was one of the first things I knew I was going to change. I think it actually looks better to use the modern window. We are talking about like 13 or 14 years since this set has been released, and so the updates that have come out in that time, I'm going to take advantage of and actually build that into my model. Some people would rather have 100% authentic cafe corner than making these aesthetic changes, and I respect that, but that's not the direction that I'm going at this point. So that's, just a disclaimer, this isn't supposed to be a 100% authentic piece for piece 2007 cafe corner build. There are going to be visual changes, and now that I'm getting into the details of which pieces I need, there are a few structural changes as well. So the center row of windows is kind of that one. Instead of using that panel back to back, I am using the current window style 1x2x3 with the glass in there, so that didn't have a capacity for glass in the first release, and now it does, so I'm going to put it in. The other thing that I've just decided I want to change is the lettering down here. So this was in the original set. It's a dark bluish gray, and they're all 1x1 tiles. And I have a lot of 1x1 tiles, but I need quite a few of them for other places in the sidewalk. So the corners here and here. Originally, like 40 or 50 some of these tiles for the lettering. I'm going to knock that down to 11 and use dark tan. And instead of 1x1 tiles, I'm going to go with the fuller sizes, so 1x3, 1x2. There's still a few places that need it to work around the corners, but kind of budgeting those parts down a little bit to just give myself a break when it comes to putting down 1x1 tiles. So the dark tan, I think that stands out a little better. It does spell cafe, C-A-F-E, kind of under the tables here. So hopefully replacing the 1x1 tiles doesn't detract from that styling too much. And this is something I'm going to have built over the years, so as I get pieces in, it might be something I do change down the road. But for the first iteration of the build, I want to try this. So the pillars are here, the black door is here, but it's in Patriot Hill, so when it does come time to build this, I will just pull that and replace it with something.
And the white skis, I've actually been pulling from the job lot. So when I do get another job lot video out, I'll show where those are coming from. And then here in the back is where I want to show some of the 1x16 bricks. So like this, there's going to be 4 1x16 light bluish gray, and those are just in various places where they work the best, which were previously 1x8 bricks here back to back. So ran out of these 1x8 light bluish gray bricks, and it's going to just work out to use a few places the 1x4 brick, and then a few other places the 1x16. And I think I had enough bricks for the tan and reddish brown. It was just the light bluish gray that needed help there. The 1x4 dark blue, I'm going to be swapping out one of these for 1x2 bricks, and that's not a big deal. Those are all pretty well secured. The biggest change was concerning dark blue 1x1 bricks. So to actually show where I needed to do that, I'm going to do my special color hiding trick that I put out a video for, and I've actually added keyboard shortcuts now, so let's see if this works. I think I have to go with 7 to get the color select, and then to invert I'm using the minus key, so that inverts this whole selection, and then I need to hide everything. So 1, 2, 3, pretty simple little trick there, and hey, I used it with my shortcut this time. Okay, so now we're looking at dark blue, all the dark blue pieces in the model actually. And when Cafe Corner was released, the 1x3 brick did not exist in dark blue, and even now it's actually kind of a costly piece, 16 cents for used the last 6 months. But I was lucky enough to find dark blue 1x3 bricks on a pab wall. I don't remember which wall it was, but somewhere back in probably in the pab crawl videos it's been out. I did stock up on these, so I will have enough to do, I think it's 7 of them. And that, what this does is replaces 1x1 dark blue and a 1x2 dark blue, because I do not have enough of these. Well, I didn't before, I do now. So now I'm down to 5 1x1 dark blue bricks, thanks to the substitution of the 1x3 dark blue. So yeah, just making that swap in, that's something, again, not a very visual change. Like the walls are still dark blue, all of the staggering of the joint still lines up, it's structurally still a sound model. It's just changing a few pieces here and there to account for what I actually have on hand, and just looking at how I'm going to be able to build this cost effective, which is kind of the goal that I started out with, and now that's kind of moving into a higher priority than maintaining authenticity to the model to a degree. Like, I still want it to be obviously Cafe Corner. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show in this update is on the first floor as well, but I have to do a little delicate hiding of certain pieces to get there. Okay, underneath the stairs, one of the expensive pieces is a dark blue half arch, and it was used for the support of this little alley stairway that goes up to the second floor. And I'm just going to make the compromise to change that to light bluish gray. I also filled in a little bit underneath here. This was a little bit different in the original build, so I think it actually looks better changing this over, and it's something you're never going to see from the outside of the model. You'd actually be hard-pressed to see this with the top 2 floors off, just because of the way that's kind of hidden under the stairs here. At most, you'll be looking at these stairs when the top 2 floors are off, and this wall will still be in place, so you won't actually be able to kind of see around this corner. I think it was just a matter of, you know, whenever, I think it was Jamie Berard who designed this, and whenever he designed this set, that's what the parts budget had for him, and so he put in these dark blue pieces that haven't shown up since Cafe Corner, and so they're actually scarce now. And part of that is coming from the age of the set. It's been 14 some years without seeing these pieces again, so that in itself is going to give you a little bit of scarcity. But I think more so what's happening is people that want to have a Cafe Corner in their city that didn't buy the set when it released in 2007 are finding ways to piece it together from Bricklink, from other sellers, and just get these pieces one by one, kind of like what I'm doing, but not exactly the same. And that's put a higher value on some of these exclusive pieces. So if anyone else has done this before, you kind of know which pieces are going to be giving you trouble. Dark blue arch, dark blue pillars, this light gray door, this black door, the white skis to a degree. I haven't really seen that as much. The dark red slopes, the 2x4x3 window frames, and what else is gonna... The dark blue arch would be one of the pieces that would be holding me back, and that's one that I'm just going to make the compromise on. Swap the color. You know, it's not very visual. It's probably the least visible rare part in the model. Just kind of making that statement as the justification for the color change. But yeah, having the studio model is actually really helpful for the planning of this operation, and being able to kind of do the live updates as I pull the parts and figure out what I do have on hand to build Cafe Corner is probably the best thing that I've done for this project. So I did build this up from the instructions last year, kind of in preparation. Part of it was I wasn't really sure that I'd ever get to Cafe Corner, and I wanted to have the building experience. So this is pretty much free way to do that. The instructions are out there for free. This is a free application, so just a matter of the hours spent to actually build it. So I've had this model built up, and coming into this year, getting to the point where I have the parts to kind of put this together and kind of moving that plan into action. Some of the stuff just getting from bricks and pieces, some of it, these blue pillars, actually making that set purchase to get this piece, and the rest of them be pulling from loose pieces from my bulk lots. I've kind of started, I put myself in the middle of a bunch of different projects, so based on which one I choose to work on at any given time, the other ones just kind of sit and wait. So I guess, you know, for you guys watching, kind of having to keep up with all of that, sorry. That's kind of how I operate at this point, and how the collection is operating at this point. And that might change in the future, but that's kind of how it is right now. So Cafe Corner is moving along at a snail's pace. Carter Trellis is moving along at a snail's pace. The job lot inventory I want to have done by the end of the year. And, you know, looking back through videos, this stuff has been moving along, but I'm bouncing around from project to project and not really persistently working on one all the way through. So that's how it is, and hopefully that's okay with you guys. I know it might be kind of a pain to jump around like this and kind of change focus so much, but I do want to keep you in the loop with the different stuff that is going on. So yeah, hopefully that's okay. Cafe Corner today, it's just talking about some of the stuff that I've been doing there. Okay, I think that about covers it. Probably more than I was planning to talk about today, and maybe tell you guys a little more about what's been going on, why stuff doesn't move as fast. So thanks for watching in any case, and comments welcome down below. I'll be getting back to those as I can. We'll see you next time.